What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Espresso, and welcome back to another Black Ops 3 video here today on the channel. Today we're going to be talking DLC 2 once again here, more specifically with the zombies map that we will be seeing here out of this. We don't know the name of it just yet, but we do have some information via game code, so that's what we're going to be discussing here today. Before we get too far into it, I am hosting a giveaway with a couple of my good friends here on YouTube. We're going to be giving away a tub of G Fuel, as well as 2 pairs of Control Freaks. One winner will get both, and one will get a singular pair of Control Freaks. So that link is down in the description below if you want to check that out. But back into the topic at hand here, the zombies map itself. We talked about it was going to be on an island here, presumably following the story of Division 9 and Takeo, what his role here is within this grand scheme of things that Richtofen has planned. However, we're going to be discussing in depth a little bit more and relatively quickly here because there's a little bit on a touch base on, but not too much on, is perhaps a zombies boss here within this new map. Once again, the image to the code is found in the description below. I can't put that on screen for you guys because it is subject to copyright, and that's something that, for this, I don't necessarily want to risk my channel's future, but I'll leave it down there in the description below so you guys can check it out if you want to see it in its glory. So with this, it does mention a couple of things here. Firstly, spores, something called a thrash rage gas, an electric warlord, as well as pustules. So the first thing that we can discuss here is spores, perhaps being what Shadows of Evil has, the spores in which it grows something and you can get some stuff out of it, or it could be referring to what Glitching Queen actually discussed here a little bit, whether or not it's the same terminology, because it could be effectively still the same idea that she discussed a long while back, and we also touched about it here on the channel. A noxious gas surrounding and being sprayed by this boss zombie, but it also could relate to the spores in the sense of Shadows of Evil. So we'll keep an open mind here with that one, but a pustule, I'm really interested to see where this works out. For those that don't know what that is, basically it's a giant pimple. It's a small bump, or probably in this case, a large bump if it's on a boss zombie or something similar, but it fills with pus or fluids. So if this is on a boss zombie, we could have perhaps, in theory, a pimple-popping zombie monster here on it. That sounds really silly to say, but in all reality, we have seen things like this, that it shoots something out at us, ergo being the parasites from Shadows of Evil. They fly around and shoot stuff out of them, and it's like a toxic chemical compound that it does do some damage to you as a player. So that's something that is once again possible here within this. Now the next two things are potentially what could be our zombies boss here, something called the thrash, which we don't know exactly what that refers to yet, but it does indicate that it is going to be something with a gas that does do damage. So that's something very interesting to keep in mind, perhaps the name of our zombies boss, or perhaps what could be called a warlord. With the warlord, there are strings of code that refer back to a jetpack, as well as a heat wave, and if you put those two together, it almost reminds me of a panzer, but in the form of, instead of what we saw in Der Eisendrache here, where it would shock you, we could do a similar, instead of blue style shock, a red style shock maybe, in which it still does the same thing, it stuns you as a heat wave does. But with this jetpack, they'd also be able to transport themselves to different choke points, as if you are getting too far ahead of them, they then jump ahead to catch up with you by jetpack. So that's something to keep in mind, I think, but that's where we're gonna wrap it up very quickly here. I wanna let you guys know about a couple more assets of game code that we did not touch on the other day whenever we talked about this initially. The big thing out of that was that it was going to be located on an island, which is something that was really big news here. It's been something that's been theorized, but we had confirmation on it. So wanted to take a look at some of the other assets here within that same string of code. So that's a wrap on this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Do you think that we're going to be getting another Panzer here within DLC 2, or do you think that these assets could refer to something else? Love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Every single comment, once again, is as always greatly welcomed. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did like this video, be sure to like, rating down below. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're on that road to 30,000 subscribers, so every little bit does help, and it's as always greatly appreciated. But mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.